So we're going to be looking at winds and crosswinds, crosswind madness today. So, the default setting in almost every flight simulator program is always going to be light or calm winds. And a lot of times when you're practicing initially, you might be lucky, you might come out on a day where there is, actually light or no winds at all. But one of the things we need to look at is the actual winds and what you're going to do. And it really starts from the moment you're helping to get the glider out to the flight line. But we're going to start looking at it from the point of view of the when you're in the cockpit and you're getting ready to take off. Okay, so we're going to start out now. Again, we're flying in the ASK-21, a very common trainer. Again, and we'll just be taking off from the default airport, Les Bled. But now we're going to start cranking up the winds, and in Condor, you just select which wind, where you want the wind, how you want it coming at you. So instead of calm winds, we're going to do a wind. We're going to be doing crosswinds primarily. So we're going to show how that affects things. Not every ASK in the manual shows what the maximum demonstrated crosswind is, but the maximum demonstrated crosswind for an aircraft is the manual. That is what the company has demonstrated with their test pilots. Let's get this started loading here. Okay. And it doesn't mean that you can't take off in higher, and certainly if you're up and there's higher crosswinds than that, you still have to land no matter what. But it is what their test pilots with a new aircraft at their facility has demonstrated. And so it's always something, once you get close to that maximum demonstrated crosswind, it's something you really want to think about really long and hard before you start exceeding that. Generally also, when you have high crosswinds anyway, on really windy days, it'll have a tendency to churn up thermals. And so they're just not really good days for thermal flying. You want to be able to land, take off and land in some kind of in some kind of weather, but you really need to think you're not going to be flying in a lot of thermals on a day like that. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, so you can see here, we can kind of see here, you see the windsock is moving over, it's flapping off to the side there. Okay, 4-knot wind. Okay, nothing too demanding. Okay, but we check the winds during our checklist. Let's do the ABB CCC DE checklist, the ABC checklist. Okay, A is air brakes. No, A is altimeter, which is always set properly for the field elevation here. B, brakes, BB, brakes and ballast. So I check my air brakes. And ballast is what I would check it with my hand there down low. Okay. C, controls. Okay, so I'll just go all the way around with my controls. Canopy and which you check a high controls canopies and oh my gosh, now I'm trying to do this while I'm talking and I'm losing it. And cable. So we would hook up the cable with our little, with the wing runner, we'd hook up the cable. Okay. Controls canopy, cable. And then D is for directional wind. So, okay, so I've got a light right crosswind, okay? So if I have to do any emergency, and then E is emergency procedures. If there's an issue with the tow, we have to get off. We're gonna land straight ahead and to the right on any remaining runway. Below 200 feet, if we don't have any runway left, we'll land out, land straight ahead. Above 200 feet, we'll do a turn to the right because we want to turn into our crosswind. If we turn away from our crosswind on a rope break, it's going to keep blowing us off to the left. We want to turn into the crosswind so that way it's blowing us right onto the runway. We'll demonstrate that. Okay. Okay, so we're ready for takeoff. Okay. Here comes our tow plane. Yay, Piper Cub. Okay. And here we go. Okay, so I'm going to hold my, if I don't do anything, okay, I've got my wing. Oh man, I'm getting blown to the left. Oh, and my nose is moving off to the side as well, okay? Huh, okay? What you have to do is you hold the controls into the wind, and then you hold the rudder opposite, okay? So look how I immediately started getting blown to the left there, okay, which is exactly what I want to demonstrate. If we don't correct for that wind direction, we will start getting blown away. So when the wind is coming in from the side, okay, it's going to do two things. It's going to lift up the wing from where that's of the wind, where the wind's coming from. It's going to lift up that wing, okay, and then also it'll also be working on the giant horizontal stabilizer on your tail, and it'll be pushing you. So we've got to do two things when we're taking off with a crosswind. Okay, we've got to hold stick into the wind. Okay, the wind is coming from the right, so I'm going to hold it to the right. Comes my tow plane. I'm going to hold the stick, I'm not in the neutral position. Hold it slightly to the right stick, and I'm going to hold a little bit of left rudder. Okay, to counteract for the fact that it's going to blow me into the wind. Okay, and look, now I'm basically staying exactly where I want to be. Okay, now I'm going to stay directly behind the tow plane. Now, once I'm in the air, we're both feeling the exact same amount of wind. It's when I'm on the ground, that's where it becomes a problem. Okay, now 200 feet. Okay, I'm going to release. Oh, there was a problem. I have to come back. I'm going to turn incorrectly. I'm going to turn to the left. Okay, the wind is blowing. Holy cow, look how far out I am now. Holy cow. I'm way out here. I should probably actually land in the grass. I'm so far out. Okay. Okay. So look how far out it blew me to the left, just with that little extra light wind. Okay, so now we're going to do a turn to the right after hitting 200 feet. Okay, so we've got our tow plane coming. Again, we've got a crosswind a gentle crosswind just from the right. So I'm going to hold right stick in both, and I'm going to hold a little bit of left rudder. Okay? If I'm holding the right amount, and as we speed up, you don't need to hold as much because the controls become more effective as we speed up. So we hold the most correction right at the very, very beginning. Stay behind him, and 200 feet. Okay, now I'm going to turn to the right. That nose down, don't want to stall as we do this. Okay, my air brakes, back to my runway. And should have got on the center line. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, okay, so that's with 4 knot winds. Okay, and remember these windsocks here. A standard general aviation windsock is going to be 15 knots. A 15 knot windsock is a standard windsock, and they're weighted such that the fattest part of it will hold up at the first 4 knots, then the second will hold up at the next 8 knots, and then the last 2 sections will 12, 16. Okay, so we'll go to our winds. Let's crank that up now. Let's go up to 8. Okay, same direction. Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll start the flight. Okay, we'll check on what the windsock is showing, and then we'll see how that affects our controls. First, we'll do no correction initially, and then we'll do a rope brake, but we'll do it both left and right. Okay, and then remember, this is just for takeoff. We're not even showing. We'll get to depending on time, we'll get to landings with crosswinds, but even just for the takeoff portion, it's quite a bit. Are you kidding? Oh, no, good. Good. Good, awesome. Okay, where is my cursor? Where is my cursor? I can't control anything. This is great. I have landed. Oh, okay. That's great. Is Condor having issues? I'm getting no control over Condor right now. Okay. Oh, there we are. Okay. Escape. Make it big. Okay. Now, hey, look, that windsock is blowing up higher. In real life, it would be the first 2 notches that would be blowing, and the second 2, the last 2, the smaller 2, the orange and the white last 2, orange and white would be hanging down, and the first 2 would be up. Okay. But you can even see we've got a Pawnee. My yaw string is being blown to the left by the wind. Okay. So no corrections right now. Just gonna let it take me where it's, so that right now I've got my wing runner helping me out. Oops, now I'm turning to the right. Oh, and it also lifts my right wing. Causes me to do a ground loop. Okay. It's the nose started coming right, and the wing started getting blown upward. The wing got blown upward, and the nose was coming right. So it's both things. Your wing is getting blown upward, and your tail is turning. It's weather vaning you into the wind. Okay, so we're ready for takeoff. Okay, you saw both things there. So we just estimate what the wind is. Okay, we know it's coming. Wind is coming from the right. Wind is coming from the right. So I'm gonna need right stick, and I'm gonna need left rudder. Okay, a little bit more this time. Oh, I started getting blown ever so slightly. Okay, when my wheels are on the ground, that's when I have to worry about it. And now that I'm coming up, I just equalize everything. I stay over the runway. Okay. So with a right crosswind, we've got to make our turns to the right. So we're going to show what happens when we don't. Okay. Okay, 200 feet. I forgot which direction my crosswind was. Okay. Let's see how far out of it blows me. Okay, now I'm not just past it. I'm almost to the green there. Okay. Way over here. I'm gonna go just to the grass. Okay, still want to get down. You can use a spoiler. Using spoiler. Spoilers are out. Okay, coming down. With that big mean crosswind there. Oh. And touchdown. Okay. And we'll brake. Okay, and you see, even at the very end, my nose was turning to the left. Because now the crosswind is coming from my left, and so it's turning me in that direction. Okay, let's restart that. Okay. Again, with a right crosswind, got a crosswind from we always talk about winds where they're coming from. Okay, right crosswind. So I hold my stick, I hold it to the right, and I hold a little extra left rudder. Left rudder, right stick. Which is opposite. It's gonna feel unnatural initially. Okay? But if you don't do it right, things go badly quickly. Okay? A little bit less rudder there. Okay? Okay, just stay right behind him. Okay, just over 100 feet. And 200 feet. So now I'm going to get the nose down and properly turn to the right. Okay, I'm not over the freeway anymore. I'm right here lined up with my runway. Yeah, I'm better lined up. Okay, I'm over the runway. I use spoilers now to just get down, land. Now I've got a crosswind from the left. Okay, so it's blowing me to the right side because I've got the crosswind now is from my left. So I'm now using right rudder to keep myself pointed in the right direction. Oops. Okay. Okay. Now let's exit the flight. Okay. Main menu. Free flight. Okay. So here we are. Now we're really going to start cranking things up. Okay. Let's go to 16. 230. Now, when we talk about winds, we talk about surface winds. Your winds at altitude are always going to be higher than the winds at the ground. The friction from the ground, from buildings, from trees, bushes, it's mountains, it's all slowing the wind down at the ground. But as we go higher in real life, the wind is going to get stronger. And so you get what's called a wind gradient, where it's weaker, at ground elevation, but then as you go higher, that gradient, it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, which affects you both for takeoff and landing. And what you want to do is remember that. So just know that in your head. Whatever the winds are down low, they are going to be stronger at altitude. Hey, look at that windsock now. Let's get this to the proper view. Why is it not showing the screen? Oh, there it is. Okay, look at it, sticking out straight out, okay? Again, no correction. In proper technique, no correction. Have a very strong right crosswind. We always talk about where the wind is coming from. So I'm going to keep that stick right in the middle, okay? This is not going to go well. It's just not going to go well at all. Okay? Okay, I've got my little imaginary wing runner. Immediately, my right wing comes up, and my nose starts going to the right. Okay? Bad. Okay? So let's do a proper correction there. Because remember, we're going slow, and so the moment we're going slow, the wing runner just lets go of our wing. The moment the wing runner in real life, or the imaginary invisible wing runner, lets go of our wing, that's when we immediately are at the mercy of the wind. And when we're going slow, that's when things are worse. Things are the absolute worst, because our ailerons and our rudders are very weak. So I got to do more correction. Oops. Oh, goodness. More right stick and more left rudder. And if I do it properly, hey, look, I don't get blown immediately. I'll make small corrections. Woo! I'll make small corrections, but I don't dig a wing in to the ground, and I also don't weather vane off the runway. Okay. Coming up on 100 feet, and okay, we're gonna turn left and 200 feet. See if we can even get back to the green. We'll probably get there back. Maybe. I'd feel very uncomfortable doing this maneuvering this low in real life. Okay, we've got it made. So spoiler. So I'm using a lot more right rudder to keep myself lined up with the ground. And I've still got, ooh, boy. Right rudder and holding left stick, and lots of right rudder. Okay. Let's restart that. Ready for takeoff. Okay, now we're going to properly this time. Again, we've got a left, we got a right crosswind. So I'm going to hold right stick, aggressive, fairly aggressive right stick, and more left rudder to keep myself nice and lined up. I'm not going through the checklist every single time. Okay, and even with that 16-knot crosswind, I'm staying behind the tow plane. It's not. It doesn't get once you get to these high wind speeds. And which side am I getting blown to? Getting blown to the downwind side. Okay, I still want to line up behind the glider. I mean the behind the tow plane. The glider tow plane. And slowly move over. And go directly behind him. Okay, now 200 feet. Okay, keep the nose down. If anything, I'm going to overshoot it. Okay, start coming down. More spoiler. More spoiler. Okay. I'm not even able to crab as well as I want to. Okay. So, there we go. Crab. Let's get down. Woo! Okay. Main menu. Let's crank up that wind even more. Okay, flight. Okay. Okay. 25 knots now from that same direction. Okay. We'll let it load up. We wouldn't fly this kind of weather no matter what. But it's to demonstrate, to see, we're making decisions based on the windsock, based on the wind direction, the wind strength, and it's just to demonstrate the point as well as possible. Okay. Here, big, switch to game view. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at that windsock. Basically straight out. Basically straight out. And it's whipping back and forth. Okay. Okay, so first of all, no corrections. Let's see what happens when we do no corrections. Okay. No corrections. Stick is in the center. Okay. That's awesome. Immediately, the moment it comes off. So, 25 knot winds. I'm going to be holding most of my stick to the right, and I'm going to be holding quite a bit of left rudder here. Okay. There we go. Good. Okay. And the thing is, as we speed up, we have to change the amount of aileron and rudder that we're using. Okay, and still, the moment I take off, the wheels are no longer in contact. They're not providing any friction to the ground. I immediately start getting blown downwind. Okay. A little bit more there. and 200 feet. Okay, I'm going to turn into the wind. Put that nose down. Turn into the wind. Okay, there's my runway. And it's going to blow me right over to it. Look at that. I'm not even having to like turn into it. I'm just getting blown by it. Okay. I'm letting the wind do the work there. Okay, I'm going to have to crab into the wind actually to stay over the runway. And then I'll kick it out at the very last bit. Okay, using rudder. Right as I'm getting down, I'm going to kick it out. And I'm going to get down. And it's already weather vaning me to the left. I'm full right rudder, full right rudder, full right rudder. And I'm turning to the left. Because as my controls become less effective, it's the wind that's controlling it. Look at that windsock. Just whipping in the wind there. Just whipping in the wind. Okay. Restart. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing, but now we're going to do the incorrect turn to the left. I'll restart it. Oh, ready for takeoff. Excuse me? What's going on here? Oh. Okay, it already reset me. Okay, cool little Super Cub. Okay, again. Mondo, right crosswind. So I'm going to hold right stick, most of my right stick, and most of my left rudder. Okay, there we go. You can feel when the wing runner lets go, you know, I didn't just zoom off the runway like I did when I had no corrections in at all. Okay, flying. Don't want to kite and try to pull the tow plane's nose up. Pull on the tail so drop the nose. Don't want to do that. Okay. Just kind of get in, slot in behind him, which is what I would normally do. And 200 feet. There we go. Okay, get the nose down. Start my turn back. Let's see if we can even get back. Holy cow, there's a bunch of power lines over here. That's no good. Okay, let's see if I can get back to the grass strip or anything in fact. Okay, I'm having to try to penetrate into this wind, and it is not going well. Okay, I am flying, and I am trying to penetrate into this wind, and I'm barely going to make it. Okay, if this act, you know, in real life, when things are like, yeah, I could just feel my ground speed is just so low. Okay, I'm trying to get over to the center of the runway, to the grassed area. Okay, trying to get over. I'm not using much spoiler because I need the time to get over. Okay, okay, getting that. Now I'm getting a left crosswind. It's immediately trying to weather vane me to the left. I'm full right rudder, and I'm still going to the left. Okay. Okay. Now let's demonstrate the other part of this, okay? We're looking at free flight. Oops. No, that's not what I want to do. Oh. Okay, so now we're not gonna do so now instead of a crosswind, we're gonna do a headwind, but we're gonna do a very healthy headwind. Okay, because remember, the other thing that happens, there's crosswinds, but also headwinds. You're like, oh, well, headwinds will make it so we take off in a shorter distance and we land in a shorter distance, and that's great. And under normal circumstances, that's what you want. We want to be able to take off and land in shorter distances. The problem becomes if we are trying to, if we have to do a rope break, okay? Now we've got the wind as we're flying. Now we got instead of a headwind, which we want, we've got a tailwind, okay? So now the amount of runway we're going to need is going to get longer because now we've got a tailwind, and and that wind, not only is it blowing us as we're trying to land, so our ground speed is going to be higher, but also once we're going to have to land in a, the amount of distance we have to land is the same, but we're going to be going faster over it. So we have to that's going to be added to our airspeed. And then on top of that, once we're on the ground, our controls are going to become a lot less effective, a lot quicker. Okay. Oops. Wrong direction. Oh, are they? Okay. They automatically put you into the wind. Yeah, I think you probably hear Teddy in the background there. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and start that. Come on, you. Come on. Oh boy. Our dog is going crazy. Okay, so golly. Test. Oh, I want that off, actually. Test. Okay, so let's go ahead and take off now. Okay. Why is it doing this again? Big. Good. Okay, there we go. I'll switch this around here in just a sec. Ready for takeoff. So you can see the yaw string is blowing straight back, which is where the wind is coming from, and so therefore that's what we would expect. I think those are little cicadas. I use those in Europe. You see that windsock is basically blowing directly along. Flying over all the glider trailers. Hooray. Okay, and we're definitely over 200 feet. Coming back around, look at where I am over the runway. Okay, look how fast I'm going over it. That windsock is coming with me. So I'm getting blown. I am using all the spoiler I have now. Okay, and I am trying to get down. All spoiler, full spoiler. Let's get back over the runway. Okay. And I'm going to lose directional control as, see, I'm still rolling, but I'm not in control of the glider anymore. That's when you want to put on max brake. Once you start feeling that you're losing control of the glider, that's when you put on max brake and just bring the thing to a stop. Okay. I'll flip it around so it's the same view that we're used to seeing. Main menu. Free flight. Weather. We'll do 1-4 at 20 knots. 25 knots. Oh man, that's gonna be wild. Okay. And start. So again, I'm going to take off into this headwind. You know, the yaw string is going to be going straight back over us. We're gonna, be able to hold the controls basically neutral, okay, to take off. But we're not going to make a lot of headway, or we're going to take off sooner, or we're not going to make much headway. We're going to climb at the same rate, but we won't be covering as much distance. So by the time I hit 200 feet, if I have a problem and I have to get off, okay, I'm not as far down. I turn around, I'm going a lot faster over the ground. Hey, look, there it is, okay? There's me. Oh man, look at that windsock, straight out, okay? Let's full screen on that. Game screen, yep, I want the game screen. Ready for takeoff. Okay, boom. Look at that windsock. Straight out. Okay, Super Cub. I'm making bad life choices. For science. Okay, just gonna hold my normal control inputs. Nothing special. Oop. Coming up. And 200 feet. Come on. I'm going to break the boat. Okay. The nose down. Okay. Yeah, I know my airspeed is high, but whoa, look how fast I'm passing the runway. Look at how fast I'm passing. Now I'm going full spoiler, and I am going to lose. I am full spoiler right now, and I'm barely going to get back on the end of the runway here. I'm not going to use any brake, just to demonstrate what that looks like. Getting very hot. Okay? And I'm going to start losing directional control. Okay? Okay? Not as bad as I thought. Not as bad as the last time, actually. But it definitely, it got to the point where that. But that the amount, look at how fast I was passing up that runway. Just realize I was adding freaking 25 knots, dude. 25 knots. Look at that windsock. Zoom in on that. Let me zoom. Zoom in. What's the button for it? Hold on. Can't remember every single. I cannot remember every single keyboard command. Zoom. Shift. Oh, that's in map mode. Flight computer zoom. I want flight computer zoom. I want just visual. Okay. I'll have to look that up another time. But anyway, the windsock is sticking straight out there. Okay. Okay. Well, wanted to show how does the crosswind affect your takeoff, and particularly why we note the direction, so that way we turn into the wind rather than away from the wind. And even when we have a nice headwind, if that becomes a rope break or another situation where we have to return to the field, that can become a problem very quickly. A headwind turns into a tailwind, and tailwinds, we don't ever intentionally land with a tailwind. So when we have that crosswind on takeoff, remember, if we don't do anything, if we have a crosswind coming, we're going to, our upwind wing, the wing that's facing into the wind, is going to get tipped upward, and this is going to generate more lift. Okay, wind is coming here. Okay, it's going to generate more lift on this side. Okay, and it's going to tip us into the tip us with the wind. Okay, and also as we start moving, the other thing that's going to happen is we're going to get weather vane into the wind. So you've got to hold cross controls. You have to be holding the stick and the rudder in opposite directions as we take off, because our wheels are driving when we're on the ground. We're a very poorly designed car, and so we want to keep the nose lined up with the runway, and then we want to keep the wing, we want to keep that nice and level, so we don't drop a wing and do a ground loop, as demonstrated on some of those really high crosswind takeoffs there. So if you have any questions, leave them below in the chat, and always like and subscribe for more tips, so we can go over more things of what you want to see and what you want demonstrated here in Condor.